This is Business Insights, and I'm David Matthews. Inc. magazine today ranked Selling Energy number 1400 on its 34th annual Inc. 5000, an exclusive ranking of the nation's fastest growing private companies. The company was number 16 on the list of fastest growing education companies. Selling Energy made the list by achieving an impressive 3-year growth rate of 296%. In 2014, the company's co-founders, Mark Jewell and Rachel Christenson, co-authored a Wall Street Journal bestseller titled Selling Energy, Inspiring Ideas That Get More Projects Approved. Rachel Christenson is president of Selling Energy, and she joins us now. Rachel, thank you for being here today with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great. Rachel, what inspired you to launch your company?
Sure. We launched a company 4 years ago, and prior to starting Selling Energy, I was the director for an energy efficiency engineering company, and we had a lot of great talented engineers, but we were having a really hard time getting customers to say yes to projects. And what we found was that it wasn't because they didn't have great technology, the projects weren't sound. The challenge was they didn't know how to talk to businesses in a way that explained why they should invest in the projects. They didn't understand the financial decision-making process or how the projects would help the businesses be more successful. So as a result of that, I thought, well, if we could focus on upskilling people in the industry to know how to sell, to know how to do financial analysis, the industry would be much more successful and more projects would be approved.
Yeah, so is that why you decided to focus on sales training?
Yes, the energy industry, which is where my background is, sales is definitely a dirty word. So most people think that salespeople are bad, that projects should be approved because energy efficiency is the right thing to do. And so we thought, well, this is where the biggest shortage is in the industry. And if we could just give people the skills they need to be successful reaching out to businesses, understanding the businesses that they sell to, that they could really be more successful in what they do. And as it turns out, now that we fast forward to today, and we look beyond the energy industry, we've realized that the shortage of skilled salespeople is not just an issue in the energy industry, but it's actually an issue across all industries worldwide. In fact, Manpower magazine just came out with a study that said sales professionals are the second hardest role to fill globally. So the shortage of salespeople.
Why is that the second hardest job to fill?
So there's a couple of issues. One is that there are no degrees for salespeople. So they're definitely pushing out a lot of, psychology degrees, engineering degrees, but sales is not a career that you see in your senior year of high school as somewhere where you can go get a degree. So that's definitely a challenge. Also, the workforce has changed dramatically. So it used to be you would spend 30 years working for IBM, Johnson Controls. They would train you to be a good sales professional throughout your career, but the reality is people stay in sales roles about 9 months now. So there's just a shortage of people who know how to sell and who have experience selling. And I think the bigger issue is if you do want to go get a degree or get a job in sales because maybe your father was in sales or you think that it's a great role to be because of the shortage of sales professionals, you can't Google sales training and really get the support you need right there so that you can apply for a job and be trained.
So you mentioned somebody who might be in sales because their father was in sales, and so do you think that people are like born into sales, that they're like genetically predisposed to be in sales, or what do you think?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it's definitely a misconception. A lot of people say, oh, salespeople are salespeople. They were born that way. You're a natural salesperson. Why do I need sales training? It's in my blood. What we like to say is, like a good engineer, they're born, they want to play with Legos, they are naturally inclined to be an engineer, but they still need engineering training in order to be a good engineer. We say the same thing about salespeople. They may have a natural inclination for sales because of their personality or their interest or the way they interact with people, but the reality is they still need professional training in order to be very successful at what they do.
Well, with the world of the internet and so many things being automated through that sort of a process, do you think that sales is now about to be in a disrupted mode? Where do you see sales as an industry headed?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there are a variety of forces coming into play right now. Again, the shortage of salespeople is an issue. The growth of all of the economies is an issue because in order for a company to grow, they need people to sell their product. And the sales industry is hasn't changed much over the last 30 years. It's very fragmented, and the key players that are in the industry right now have been around since the 1990s, and the world of sales has changed dramatically with the invention of the internet, and how long people stay at companies has changed it. So I think there's definitely a role right now that we hope that we can play in terms of making sales training accessible and affordable to the engineer, or to the not the engineer, sorry, to the individual. So again, it's no longer you work for Xerox for 30 years and you have your career. We want to really help individuals build a career for themselves as a sales professional and get the training they need to be successful at whatever company they're working for, but to walk through that door for the interview equipped to do a good job and not rely on a company to train them to do a good job.
In the world of sales, it's a matter of and nothing happens in business or the economy today without a sale. And so,
Right.
what do you think makes a good sales professional?
Yeah, there's a couple of things that we teach. If we can teach everyone three things, it's conveying your value in a concise way to your prospect, whether that be a 15-second elevator pitch or a one-page proposal, but clearly communicating the value that you're providing for their business or them as an individual, and not making it about you. That's a huge one. And just understanding who you're talking to and what drives them. Why do they get up every day and go to work, and how does what you offer connect to what they need? So focusing more on your customer and less on yourself. And then lastly, understanding the financials of business. If you're selling in a business-to-business relationship, you need to understand the business financial drivers for your prospects. So really understanding what are their profit margins, how do they make money, how do they spend money, and how does what you offer fit into that? So it's really about just improving the level of professionalism beyond creating a good relationship, but really understanding the businesses that you sell to.
Well, with Inc. magazine having recognized you as one of the fastest growing companies in your focus area, what's next for Selling Energy?
Yeah, that's a great question. So at the end of this year, we're going to be launching a robust online sales training platform that we hope will make it easier for small businesses and entrepreneurs to get the sales training they need. I meet entrepreneurs every day who say, I need sales training, but I can't afford one of the top sales trainers to come and train my 5-person staff. So we really hope to make sales training accessible and affordable across the mass market, and really hope to change the fact that sales is the second hardest role to hire for.
Well, you know what? You've sold me on the fact that sales training is a needed service, and we appreciate you taking your time to be with us here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And Rachel Christenson with Selling Energy is on the fast track to the top of the selling game. So everybody should look forward. Be sure to pick up a copy of her book, Selling Energy. This is Business Insights. I'm David Matthews, and thank you for taking time to be with us today.